Some stories are about endings, about closing the book on what once was. But in a city like New York, where every sunrise brings 1,000 new possibilities, the most powerful stories are those that mark a fresh start. Here, new beginnings aren't just a hope, they're a way of life. The city pulses with the energy of people reinventing themselves, of neighborhoods transforming, of dreams being rebuilt from the ground up. Today, December 10th, 2025, New York City turns a page with Tamika Mallory at its heart. It's a day that will be remembered as the start of a new era, one defined by courage, compassion, and the willingness to face hard truths. Once known for her relentless activism, Mallory now steps into a new role, joining the city's community safety team. She's been tasked with helping to heal a city that's seen its share of pain, division, and unrest. Her appointment by Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani isn't just a political move, it's deeply personal, a statement about the kind of leadership New York needs right now. Mallory's journey has been anything but easy. Her path is marked by public triumphs, private battles, and the kind of resilience that only comes from living through adversity. She's walked the same streets as those she now serves, felt the weight of the city's struggles, and understands the challenges that so many New Yorkers face every day. For years, she fought for justice, with a megaphone in hand, her voice echoing through city blocks, demanding change and accountability. Now, she brings that same fire, that same unwavering commitment to the work of community safety, determined to make a difference from within the system. This role is about more than policy or procedure. It's about understanding desperation, hope, and the possibility of redemption. It's about listening to the unheard and standing up for the unseen. Her presence signals a shift, a new vision of safety, one seen through the lens of healing, empathy, and shared humanity. Tamika's story is New York's story, a testament to grit, survival, and the power of second chances. It's proof that even in the toughest city, hope can take root and grow. It's a reminder that our past doesn't define our future, and that every day is an opportunity to begin again. Sometimes, the most qualified leaders are those who have fought hardest just to be here, who know what it means to rise, to rebuild, and to lead with heart. Every addiction starts small, a moment, a pill, a promise of relief. It's rarely dramatic at first. It's a quiet decision, a subtle shift, a whisper that things might get easier, just for a little while. For many, it's a way to silence the noise, to find a pause in the chaos of daily life. For Tamika Mallory, it began with a friend's offer of Xanax to cope with the relentless pressures of activism. The world outside demanded strength, but inside, the weight was crushing. That first pill felt like a lifeline, a small act of self-preservation in a world that never seemed to slow down. That single pill became a seed, growing in the soil of exhaustion and grief. Each sleepless night, each new burden, watered it further. The exhaustion was relentless, and the grief, both personal and collective, never truly faded. Soon, one pill wasn't enough. The relief was fleeting, and the need grew stronger. What started as an occasional escape became a nightly ritual, a way to numb the pain that activism and life brought to her doorstep. Percocets followed, offering deeper escape. The line between coping and dependence blurred, and the pills promised a peace that reality could not provide. Prescription addiction is insidious. It whispers that you're still in control. It tells you that you can stop any time, that you're just getting by, just surviving. But the truth is, the grip tightens quietly, almost invisibly. Mallory wore a mask of normalcy, leading rallies by day, fighting a private war by night. She became an expert at hiding the struggle, at compartmentalizing her pain so the world would never see the cracks. The world saw a strong leader, never the desperation behind her eyes. Her speeches inspired thousands, but her own spirit was quietly unraveling, thread by thread. As a single mother, the stakes were even higher. Her son's father lost to violence, her own pain numbed by pills. She carried the weight of two parents, determined to shield her child from the darkness she faced alone. The duality was crushing. Public hero, private prisoner. Applause echoed in her ears. But silence filled her nights. The contrast was suffocating, and the loneliness only deepened. The pills became a crutch, then a cage. What once offered comfort now demanded obedience, and the freedom she fought for in the streets felt out of reach in her own home. Addiction crept in quietly, disguised as help. It wore the mask of medicine, of healing, but beneath it was a slow, steady erosion of hope. She functioned, but the cost was mounting. Each day demanded more energy, more pills, more hiding. The cycle was exhausting and the fear of being discovered was constant. The silence grew louder, isolating her further. Friends and family sensed something was wrong, but the words never came. The loneliness was profound, a shadow that followed her everywhere. This was the beginning of a dark chapter, hidden in plain sight. In the midst of crowds, she felt invisible, her struggle unseen by those around her. The pressure, grief, and demands created a perfect storm. Every day was a battle, and the weight of expectation threatened to pull her under. But crutches aren't meant to last forever. Even in the darkest moments, a glimmer of hope remained. A quiet belief that healing was possible, and that one day, she could reclaim her life from the shadows. Imagine leading a movement while your body aches for the next pill. At her peak, Mallory was a national figure, co-chair of the Women's March, a symbol of strength. Behind the scenes, she was taking up to 30 pills a day. Her life was a performance, every speech timed around her next dose. The pills numbed her anxiety, fueling a fragile facade. She was fighting for others' freedom while losing her own. Prescription addiction hides in plain sight. No outward signs, just a secret ritual. Mallory's resilience was real, but so was her pain. We see leaders' achievements, not their hidden wounds. Her story reminds us, strength and vulnerability can coexist. The mask was flawless, but the cost was immense. Every addiction story reaches a breaking point, a moment when the weight of silence becomes too much to bear, and the need for change finally outweighs the fear of what comes next. For Mallory, that moment arrived quietly, almost unnoticed. It was a simple act, but one that took all her courage, a phone call for help, made in the stillness of her darkest hour. With trembling hands, she dialed the number of Jason Williams, a former NBA star who had become a beacon of hope for those struggling with addiction. Even as she spoke, Mallory found herself hiding behind a story, pretending the problem belonged to a friend. But Williams, having walked this road himself, recognized the truth behind her words. He gently urged her to drop the mask, to be honest, not just with him, but with herself. He knew that real healing could only begin with the truth. That call became a turning point. For the first time, Mallory allowed herself to be vulnerable, to let someone else see her pain. The silence she'd carried for so long was finally broken. Williams responded not with judgment, but with understanding and compassion. He offered her a lifeline, reaching out from a place of empathy and shared experience. His own journey through darkness gave his words a weight and sincerity that Mallory could feel, even through the phone. He didn't just offer advice, he offered a map, a way forward, a promise that she didn't have to walk this path alone. For Mallory, that conversation was the first real step toward healing, a small but powerful act of hope. The call ended, but something fundamental had shifted. A new path had begun, one built on honesty and the courage to reach out. Admitting the truth was the hardest part, facing herself, her fears, and her pain. But it was also the most important step she could take. In that moment, hope began to grow. The possibility of change, once so distant, now felt real. Sometimes, all it takes is one honest conversation to start a journey toward healing, a single call that changes everything. Entering rehab was Mallory's hardest, bravest decision. She stepped away from the spotlight to confront her pain head-on. Recovery meant stripping away years of denial and facing her grief. In rehab, she was no longer a leader, just a person seeking help. Shared vulnerability broke her isolation. She realized she wasn't alone. True strength, she learned, is getting back up with help from others. Her son became her guiding star. She wanted to be present, not just surviving. After rehab, she chose to share her story publicly, writing a memoir to help others. By turning her pain into purpose, she found new strength. Her vulnerability became a beacon of hope. Recovery didn't dim Mallory's activism, it deepened it. She returned with greater empathy, speaking out on mental health and second chances. Her own battle opened her eyes to the silent struggles so many face. Mallory's advocacy became more personal, bridging justice and healing. She spoke with authority on trauma, poverty, and addiction, especially in Black and brown communities. She knew you can't fight for your community if you're losing the fight within. Her new role as safety advisor reflects this holistic vision. Safety isn't just the absence of crime, it's access to resources, care, and opportunity. She argued for support over punishment, for restoration over retribution. By sharing her story, she destigmatized addiction and encouraged others to seek help. Mallory's honesty was radical in a world demanding perfection from its leaders. Her journey gave her unique credibility and connection. Before her city role, Mallory co-founded Until Freedom, a rapid response team for justice. Alongside Angelo Pinto and Myson Linen, she led direct actions against police brutality and racial injustice. Their work, protests, rallies, civil disobedience, drew national attention, especially in cases like Breonna Taylor's. Mallory's personal losses made her advocacy deeply real. Until Freedom's philosophy, those closest to the problem are closest to the solution. Her appointment to the mayor's team validated years of grassroots work. The group's approach is grounded in lived experience, not theory. Bringing activists into city government signals a new direction. Public safety must be shaped by those who fought for it on the ground. Mallory's perspective is rooted in action, not just policy. No outspoken leader escapes controversy, and Mallory is no exception. Her activism has drawn both fierce support and sharp criticism. She's advocated for police abolition, sparking heated debate. Past associations, like with Louis Farrakhan, and controversial remarks have fueled backlash. Critics question her judgment. Supporters see her as a fearless truth-teller. Her appointment reignited debates about her suitability for public safety roles. Opponents call her too radical. Supporters say she's targeted for her unapologetic stance. Navigating criticism is part of her public life. Her challenge: build bridges in a divided city while staying true to her principles. Mallory's story is one of recovery and resilience in the face of public scrutiny. In the end, the most meaningful stories are those of both failure and triumph. Mallory's journey is a testament to redemption and the power of change. Her battle with addiction became a source of light for others. Her new role is more than a job, it's a symbol of second chances. She brings not just activist knowledge but survivor wisdom. Her presence signals hope. Those broken by the system can help fix it. The path ahead is challenging, but her story isn't about perfection. It's about falling, rising, and fighting for both self and community. Mallory's life shows personal transformation fuels social change. Her journey inspires anyone who's ever wondered if they deserve a second chance. Redemption is real, and our greatest struggles can forge our greatest strengths.